Yeah, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. This is the Benin Empire Advancement League, the home of all the Benins. Today with me is our Vice President, Mr. Joe Maui Osamudiame Olupe. You are highly welcome, sir. So,
Good morning, Mr. President. Thank you for having us. Thank you for having me. Thank you for having our viewers. And I hope you had a wonderful week.
yeah, it was a great week and also a stressful week, but everything was all right. How was yours?
Thank God.
Was week, sir?
Well, pretty good. The weather is, a little bit annoying, but
Yeah,
we're coping. You know,
yeah. Uh, Hello, everyone, once again. Today, we are going to be talking about so many things, things that is happening in our society today, in our cities, in our states, and to our people. It's going to be a sort of advice, it's not going to be the usual broadcast we usually do because as of the moment, there's a lot of issue going on, like the issue of the Oba land, Ugboba, to say the fact, to say it in Edo. Then we are going to be talking about a little bit about the politics, about some presidential candidates, why the Benin must be very, very careful. The person they choose and the person they rally for. Uh, and a lot of other things, just advice, not but these advice are very, very crucial and very, very important to the livelihoods of the Benin, and also for the future of the Benin, because like those of us fighting for the self-determinations of the Benin, or, or the Benin taking care of themselves, it's very, very important our people knows what is going on in Nigeria, especially in the
yeah,
politics, and why people always do what they do, not just
yeah,
not for the interest of the Benin, but for their own interest,
yeah,
especially the tribal aspect of the Nigerian politics that is being played by the Igbos, the Yorubas, and the Fulanis and the Hausas. Why the Benin are always left out of this politics, and why we are also always also added to their own uh, politics, not in a positive manner, but in a negative manner, to say the fact. So I would like to start with the land grabbing issue in Edo State, in my own state. Of recent, as we all know, it has been circulating on social media about sales of land and the grabbing of uh, the land that belongs to the Obas of Benin. Ugboba, normally in every community, the Oba uh, land is being given to Oba when there's a land sales. And this land, other people can be farming on it without even the Oba knowing about the people who are farming on that land. Normally, the Nogi, the Odionwori, and some of the elders of the village always take over the control of that land, looking after it, make sure everything is in order with the land. But of recent, we have seen in so many areas in Edo State or in Benin city environment that uh, due to some cultural development, I will not say it's not. Uh, I will not say it's not our culture because our people have been selling land for let me say since about 100 years now, even before Nigeria even started. Uh, Normally, the selling of land in Edo State is a borrowed land because that land it's not belong to you. If even though you buy that land, the land belongs to the government. That's what as it was before. But according to I think 1982 or something like that, the amendment of the constitution of the land, there was there was an amendment be done by the person of the administration of Babangida, which gave the authority to the community to sell land and use land according to their own way. And so many things change. In our community in Edo State, the Benin had fought war because of a land, land grabbing, community run over other community because of a piece of land, and the neighbors killed neighbor because of piece of land. I think in Edo State alone, in Benin, we have lost nothing less than 300-400 people due to land grabbing, due to issue that is related to land sales by our youth. Most of this land have been sold by our youth. And there is no special control or special law or regulation that guides the sales of land in Edo State. And for my own opinion, this is a very, very big mistake, because we cannot be selling things to other people without regulation, without reorganization that follows it. From my own personal experience, I would say it's a disgrace to the Edo people, the way and the manner the land are being sold in so many communities. Once you bought a land from this community, these people will tell you to develop the land. And it's a huge sum of money that you are going to pay for this land. And once you came to say, okay, let me lay foundation in that land, the youth of that land, of that community, they will come and say, you have to pay this, you have to pay that. If you don't settle, then you are not going to do anything in that land. So, of which this will also cost you a huge amount of money. And immediately you started, they will come again. They will say you have to pay something like a development fund for the community, of which you have to pay, because you cannot refuse it if it is for the development of the community. And you pay this, and they will continue coming till the roof top. And those areas, there's no development in our community. These communities, they will still be calling on the government to come and develop their community. The money they collect from the sales of land is nowhere to be found. It's been shared among themselves. Go to all our communities today. You can't find a company that is being built with this sales of land. It's a pity that we are killing ourselves because of land. The money our boys, our youth, they will use it to go to a hotel, to go and carry ashawo, to go and do so many other things that is not unnecessary. And the development of the community will be left behind. Even the security of the community will be left behind. As we can see, what happened the other day when those people sold the land that belongs to the other Oba of Benin to other people. This is exactly what is happening in most of the community. Because most of this land are not just sold to one person. In most cases, are sold to 5 persons, one single plot of land. This always happens because there's no regulation, there's no proper way that is described that land is supposed to be used in our state. To my own experience, I said in the last broadcast, we have in so many developed countries or countries that are still developing, not even up to the standard of Nigeria, they have a law that guides the land use. This is called the land use law. And this land use law can describe a certain area in that community that people cannot build their house on, that are only used to regulate the erosion of that community. And there are some certain parts that is also reserved only to build companies, to build industries. And there are also some certain areas that have been reserved for estates, development, and private houses and others. But we doesn't have this structure. We have nothing on ground. Every year we sell and we sell and we sell. We kill ourselves because of land grabbing. So my advice for our people, or for the government, or for the Benin Traditional Council, or whatsoever, there should be a regulation. And I've said this before because our culture uh, is very, very easy to operate if we follow up with the culture. If we follow up with this with the footsteps of our forefathers, it's very, very simple and very easy. And this has been keeping our communities secured without war before the new modern days that we now arrive on, where neighbors start killing neighbor because of 50 by 50 feet and others. So let me also give the microphone to my Honorable Vice President, also to say something about the use of land. He also has his own experience. So thank you,
Thank,
sir. You're
thank,
welcome.
thank you, Mr. President. Once again, I want to say thank you for this opportunity. Thank you, our viewers, for staying to this program. Yes, Mr. President, I want to take this whole issue from a different perspective.
Okay.
You know, I want to look at the negative impact of these practices, on our society as a whole. The Benin people says there's no development, and they want development. How can there be development when those people work so hard, who live outside Benin, probably in Lagos or other parts of Nigeria or outside Nigeria, who work day and night, you know, try to repatriate money to, build something. Then you have all sort of lazy youths who choose not to work, but just sit back and wait for people to repatriate their funds, so that they can start extorting by way of levying people. You know, one, what this does is get a lot of people away from coming, to Benin to work. So it's going to deprive community itself um, a better living standard, in the sense that when a community experiences a high level of investment in terms of infrastructural development, the living standards of the people would, appreciate,
Yes.
because you have in a community people come, this, uh, whether it's commercial for purpose or private use. There will be a need for a market. There will be a need for a health center. There will be a need for a police post. There will be a need for social infrastructure. Vision of social infrastructure. Now, when you scare people away from your community by developers, these illegal levies, you are depriving yourself all these basic social infrastructures that could have been put in place. Because one, a police in a community where you do not have the need for it, you know, and they might not be in that community where where the politicians does not see a need for it. Now, the local government council itself and the states actually be losing, because you would not have a lot of revenue, property tax, and all that, you know. And so, when the state and the local government is losing in terms of taxes, how will the state and the local government get enough money to invest in those communities? Social intervention programs. So most of these people do not actually understand that their selfishness, it's actually
Yeah.
impacting negatively on the overall well-being of the people from that community. And it's quite embarrassing that we have come to this to this junction where we have to be scared to even invest, in our
Yeah.
own communities because we have youths who do not want to get to do anything in life other than taxing the people, levying people and extorting people. Everything you see there is actually extortion.
Yes.
Now there is a political angle to this. I feel the politicians also are turning a blind eye to this because most of these youths they are put to electionary period, and having to snatch ballot boxes, having to campaign for them, having to go on rallies and all that. You find that most of these youths are foot soldiers and working for politicians who should actually of fighting this illegal activity of all these guys. Now you also find out that parents have also failed
Yes.
have failed to teach their kids, to raise their kids to be wonderful citizens and residents in the community. So we have now adopted a culture where people are only interested in what they get from any situation, from any process. People are not interested in the overall well-being of the people of the community. They are just interested in self. And because we have to this situation, we have found out we are retrogressing as a people. Because when you look like in Aja, for instance, in Ibejuleki, for instance, in Lagos State, there is a high population of Benins who have built
Yes.
houses, who have developed those areas. And naturally, apart from the fact that we know that Eko, Lagos Island belongs to the Benins, and of course the Aworis in generally, Nigerians and Aworis can lay claim to Lagos. We also understand that there's has always been this willingness by the Benin people to always want to love home. But when they
Yes.
look at the situation back home, they look at the exploitation, the extortions, the illegal levying. They look at the threats to their life. When they begin to question, all these negative activities of this youth, they just want to stay back in Lagos, stay back in Abuja, stay back in Ogun State, stay back in Ghana, stay back in the United States or Canada or the UK or Europe. Because people sometimes just think it's just all about well-being. And if I try to do back home that will benefit my people and my community and the youth in the community, the elders in the community, the politicians in the cannot call the youth to order, then I might just well live my life and call anywhere I find a home. And that's been the diet of an average Benin person. An average Benin person today sees Lagos as his home, sees Ogun as his
Yes.
home, sees Abuja as his home, sees United Kingdom as his home, see Accra, Ghana as his home, other than the Asian land of Benin, because they are more comfortable, more secure of their ancestral land, and they would basically want to invest their resources in places where they feel more secure. And that is the problem. That is what these youths do not even understand. And that is
Yes.
what the politicians and the political leaders do not understand. That as long as there are issues like this would discourage people home, there would not be development. There will be the absence of infrastructural development. There will be the absence of social intervention projects. There will be absence, all sort of um, social intervention because
Yes.
then itself would give to every community based on what the community gives. Now, when you have community A fond of extortion, causing chaos, people, it's the largest society of development. Why do you think that the government should take revenues that is generated from community B or community C and invest in the community A? It just doesn't make economic sense, you know. And these are the things we keep talking about. Now, on the issue of the monarch's land, I have read from arguments from both sides. Um, the position of the community leaders, and I've also read and I've processed, for the palace itself. And I must say this: these things will continue to have a political problem in Edo State. There's a political problem in Edo State. There's a political Nigeria. The constitution, the law that puts the traditional ruler under a politician, retrogressive, because when the British and the colonialists came, they didn't collect authority from politicians. They usurped the authority of the traditional rulers. But when they were living, they created a system, and it is this system that has created most of these problems that we see today. It is this system that has been created to subjugate, and to suppress the authority of our traditional. Now we have the politicians come in, and we are practicing civil politicking. I would say we are practicing democracy because we are not. We are just, deceiving ourselves. Yeah, we are practicing, some sort of dictatorship at all levels, from the state level and to the national level. It's just civilian dictatorship.
Yes.
Now we have, for instance, the law says that the traditional rulers are under the Ministry of Affairs, Chieftaincy and Local Government Affairs. We have a Commissioner of Chieftaincy and Local Government. I mean, I don't get it. Traditional institutions that are far more older, older than the country, and the people and tolerate these things. The things the politicians do, they do them because the people see it but and tolerate it. Most of the things the government does, it does it because the people sit back and tolerate.
Yes.
Like, politics for me should be a very interest to every citizen of Nigeria. You have to be interested in who becomes your governor. You've interested in who becomes your local government chairman. You've got to be interested in their programs, in their manifesto. You have to ask them questions that has to do with the future of your people. You don't just go and vote somebody because he has a slogan that is catchy, or vote somebody because you think they're marginalized, or vote somebody because you think he's soft-spoken. There are a lot of soft people who have created chaos in Nigeria. Example, Goodluck Jonathan is a soft-spoken president. One of the most horrible things that ever happened to Nigeria. A good deal, and he blew it. A lot of people would disagree, but that's the truth. Goodluck had the goodwill, he blew it. He had a lot of opportunity to change things, to do things in a different way. He mismanaged those opportunities. That has brought us to where we are today. Now, in the issue of state and the land, the governor himself, Obaseki, seemed to me to have issue with the palace. That is the way I see it. I think Medicine Interloper, I think he's becoming irresponsible as a governor and the head of the Edo State government. I think Governor Obaseki might go down as one of the worst governors in Edo State when it comes to
Respecting
the
our tradition.
cultural aspects,
Yeah.
you know, of our people. Respectful human being. You know, it hurts me that I have to be one of those that would say this. The governor of Edo State does not respect the people, does not respect the traditional authority. Understand that a lot of people are watching. He must also his life after the governorship.
Yeah.
After being a governor, he will go back, you know, be the private. And the same disrespect that he contempt in which he treats the king is the same disrespect and contempt the people will treat him.
Exactly.
Because we expect you to uphold our cultures and traditions, to help project, you know, a good working relationship between the state government, the political arm, the executive, and the cultural, uh, you know, arm, which is the Oba of Benin, the palace itself. When you have a personal issue with the Oba, it's a personal issue with the Oba. It will not interfere with your duty as a governor. It
Yeah.
was not in with the way you respect the throne, because it's just to represent people. And so when you have a politician like Governor Godwin Obaseki doing everything secretly to undermine the integrity of the Oba's palace, let's begin to have a problem with him. And see everything he's Godwin Obaseki understand that not every Edo man is dumb. Some
Oh,
of us
they
just
are.
sit back and we look at him. We know all what he's doing. We see all the handwriting clearly on the wall. And you see, it just proves to us that a lot of warnings that were given by the likes of Oshiomhole, of course, if Oshiomhole had done what he was supposed to do in the first place, we would have this disaster in our hands. So he is also partly to be blamed because of his own selfish reasons.
Yes.
You know, and this is the reason why we as citizens, as Benin's, must begin to take our destiny into our own hands and stop allowing politicians to use us to play all sorts of political games. Because at the end of the day, it is us that will bear the brunt of this whole mess. Because Edo State is in a total mess.
Yes.
Today, as we speak, is in a total mess. While the Oba of Benin tried his possible best to bring our people along, to carry our people along, to bring our people together, to unify the people, the government is busy creating problems. That is what the Edo State government, led by Godwin
Exactly.
Obaseki, is going up and down, creating problems for people. The Edo State is busy trying to create an unhealthy atmosphere in Benin City. First, he does it with the artifacts. Now he comes again with the museum. Now he finds to spite the Oba.
Yes.
If there is a problem with the land issue, we have lands, I assume. What was the commissioner doing? Did he bring the two warring parties together, make them sit on a peaceful round table and iron out these issues? Or was it just them waiting for the Oba to do what he wants to do so that they can use the police to harass the chiefs? Your point. These are the questions the commissioners themselves would answer. Maybe not today, get out of office. Of course, we begin
Yes.
to remind people the role each every one of these actors have played in causing so much in Edo State.
Exactly.
We were hoping that the Governor Obaseki-led government would have worked hand in hand with the palace, the Oba of Benin, to unify our people, to bring peace to our land. But no, we have seen that the Edo State government led by Obaseki is full of mischief. It's disgracing, it's appalling, it's annoying, it's demeaning.
Exactly.
The governor must be aware that some of us will never treat him with respect as long as he refuses to treat the throne with respect. Now, on the issue, the protest that was going to go, protest that was organized by the civil society groups,
Yeah.
I was happy that the protest had to be called off. Because a lot of these civil society groups themselves are a problem.
Yes.
A lot
Very
of
big
them
ones.
are tools in the hands of APC. A lot of them are tools in the hands of the politicians. And they just go about masquerading, pretending to be pro-Benin. They are not pro-Benin.
Yeah.
They are doing these things for their own interest. And you see, that's one of the reasons why I so much love the way our own organization, we carry ourselves. Because we are not going to be a part of all these shenanigans. We are not going to allow ourselves to be used by politicians for their own political issues. If the APC has an issue to grind with Obaseki, they should go ahead and do it.
Exactly.
Not use a protest, to cause chaos. And I so much bless God and our ancestors for the wisdom of the Oba. Because the Oba himself had read through this whole situation and had realized that, the overall interest of the people should come first.
Exactly.
And what is the overall interest of the people? Peace, prosperity, stability. With chaos, there will be insecurity. When there is insecurity, there will be stability. And when there is no stability, there will be economic growth. And the leadership, the Oba himself, has shown leadership, has proven to us over time, in the face of all sorts of provocation by these political actors, he's able to steer us, to give us the needed leadership. Because if not the Oba, I can tell you, Mr. President, Benin would have been in chaos by now.
Yes.
If the Oba wants to go the way the mischievous governor and his lieutenants are going, Benin would have been in total chaos.
Exactly, sir.
A lot of us, had pity on Obaseki, mobilized resources, mobilized people, used our expertise on social media and on ground, had our own groups, and we helped the APC because we felt at the end of the APC will be federalism. The end of the APC will be the end of political gangsterism. But Obaseki has proved us wrong. He's the new sheriff in the block.
Yes, even more than
The
so.
new gangster in chief. This is the way I see him. With so much exposure he has, I cannot believe that he would choose to be so petty on issues that concerns the well-being of the people. And the thing is, nobody is saying anything because everybody wants to be nice to the government, get
Yes.
contracts, get lands, and be seen to be, to be a friend of the governor. Whether you're a friend of the governor or not, we're all going to die someday.
Exactly, sir.
If you are a friend of the governor, you get contracts, you drive on the best cars, you build beautiful homes. Even if you have a 20 room, bedroom. You're going to sleep in one room. You're not going to sleep in 20 rooms at the same time. If you have 10 cars, you're not going to drive inside the 10 cars at the same time. So all the things that you tend to gain by selling your people is vanity. That's what it is. And it's so unfortunate that our people do not understand these simple things because we are so disconnected from our spirituality. We are so disconnected from our culture and our tradition. That is why we think we should pay more importance to material things at the expense of the well-being of our people. Those people who sell those lands, who levy, who extort, who create chaos in communities, are all about themselves.
Yes.
These monies are given to them. They go to beer parlors, they drink. They carry women, they prostitute, they go up and down, they gallivant the whole society with this chicken change, because it's chicken change.
Yes.
Because if they were going to make better use of their life, their time, and the wisdom God has given to them, they would probably be better citizens of Edo State.
Exactly, sir.
But they choose to be gangsters and thugs and extortionists. Because the class allows it to be so. And so let me go to the political angle of this so that I can give us more time for other things. This brings me to the political atmosphere we have today. So a few days ago, sometime last week, I read was attributed to Peter Obi that 40% of the southern Nigeria belongs to the Igbos. In my mind, I'm like, what the hell is this guy talking about? He must be smoking something that is affecting his thinking faculty. Then before I recovered from that, I had the Imo State governor also. There's a statement attributed to him that Igbos built Port Harcourt. And I'm like, what the hell is wrong with those people? It clearly shows that so many people from this side of that country are not properly educated.
Yes.
They might be learned, but not educated. They are not educated in the subject of history. They're not educated in the subject of culture. And so they do not even know that even before the white man came, Port Harcourt itself had some semblance of civilization.
Yes.
Civilization that was brought about by the ancient Benin Kingdom. The same civilization we saw in Onitsha. The same civilization we saw in Lagos. The same civilization we saw in other parts of lands that are that falls under the territory of the ancient Benin Empire.
Exactly.
So for the governor to say that the Igbos developed Port Harcourt just clearly shows that these people are unrepentant.
Yes.
With their self-glorification. You develop Lagos, you develop Abuja, you develop Benin, you develop Port Harcourt, you develop Delta. Today we are hearing that you developed Accra, Ghana. And now I'm even hearing that you developing Volta region. So I'm asking you, if you are good at developing all these places, how come you're not developing the Southeast? But you see, these are the provocative words. And that is why I Benin people. You people are politically naive.
Yes.
You are not politically intelligent. Because if you are politically intelligent, no intelligent Benin man will line behind these shenanigans that are going on. Because the shenanigans that is going on with obedient movements has all sorts of agendas. Some of the agenda is to grab lands. Agenda is to suppress the Benin culture. Some of the agenda is to disrespect the king. How do I know these things? Because some of the people who have pushed this agenda, who have insulted the king, who have pushed the agenda of land grabbing, from the IPOP perspective, in the obedient movement,
Yes.
And so you do not expect me, and I do not expect a sensible, thinking Benin man to sit on the same table with hip-hop elements, idiot movements. Because Peter Obi is not going to bring any good to Nigeria. No politician, all that have lined up today, none of them will bring any good to Nigeria.
Not at all.
Because the system itself does not even allow you to bring any good to Nigeria. That is just what it is. And the Benin people, instead of them being focused, asking questions, Yorubas are asking questions. What is the Atiku presidency? What does the Atiku presidency have for the Yoruba man? What does the presidency have for the Yoruba man? Okay, Peter Obi, if we support you as Yorubas, what does your presidency offer us? The Benin man is not asking those questions.
No.
The Benin man is not asking what does the presidency of any of these characters, what does it bring to the peace and prosperity of the Benin man? They are not asking those questions. How does the presidency of any of these characters, exalt the vision of the Benin people? No Benin man is interested in that.
No,
How does the
not
president of any of this character bring development to the Benin territories, whether it's Edo, Delta, Rivers, or parts of Bayelsa and beyond, parts of Ekiti and Delta and Ondo? No Benin man is asking this question. No Benin man is asking what does any of these political characters offer in terms of the preservation of our culture and our tradition. Nobody is asking those questions. We are busy doing follow.
exactly.
We don't even have a Benin man contesting. The closest we would have had was Wike.
Yeah.
And Amechi, who are Benin sons of ancient Benin Empire. But these guys were schemed out with money politics because Tinubu wouldn't have won the primaries without money with Atiku. Because we saw
Yes.
how these people wasted dollars. The people are suffering today because all these people had cleaned up the dollars for their own politicking. And no Benin man would sit down to tell our people that before you follow any politician or any political party, you must begin to ask questions. What do they offer our people in terms of security? What do they offer our people in terms of education? What do they offer our people in terms of intervention programs? What do they offer our people in terms of social developmental programs? What do they offer our people in terms of the preservation of our culture and our tradition? We are not asking these questions.
Not at all, sir.
But we are just jumping up and down, beating drums, getting carried away by all the shenanigans, because everything that is happening in that country right now is pure shenanigans.
Yes.
That is just what it is. No party in that country today do the bidding of the Benin man. Because the system was created not to do the bidding of the Benin man. When the British came, they tried to dismantle everything that had to do with our people. And after they overran the Benin Empire, destroyed the palace, burnt down our city, decided to move inland. From Eastern land to Anioma, they faced pure guerrilla warfare.
Yes.
1914, after Oba Obiarime died, before the British now had to amalgamate the southern and the northern protectorate together to form the entire Nigeria. And in doing so, they created a system that even though when they leave, it will be difficult for a Benin man to aspire to be a president.
Yes.
And the Benis don't understand this. They don't understand this. We have very wonderful sons and daughters who have worked their way into politics, one way or the other, who have somehow, worked their way into the high echelons in political parties, be it political party chairman, be it chairman of board of trustee, be it the head of the national working committee of a political party. But that has been where it ends. Even Goodluck Jonathan, who clearly claims that he is a Joe, he himself knows that he is not a properly German.
No.
Because the Ebele that he claims is a name that was given to his grandfather, reminding him of where he comes from in Edo State.
Yes.
But you see, the Benin man has to mask his identity, has to hide his identity just for him to prosper in Nigeria. That is a shame.
Exactly.
The Benin man has to be a Yoruba before he can prosper in Nigeria. The Benin man has to sing Rankadede before he can prosper in Nigeria. The Benin man has to accommodate the Igbo before he can prosper in Nigeria. It clearly shows that we are in a dysfunctional state. It clearly shows that everything about that country, Nigeria, has been programmed, pressed to subjugate the wills and aspirations, man. That is why people are disillusioned. That is why our people are disoriented. That is why there seem to be no direction.
Yes.
You know, I shared something some few days ago. My uncle and father, the Agbo of has
Yes.
a plan. The whole mega city. He is an example of what traditional rulers can do.
Exactly.
If we expel all these politicians and bring about our own system of governance, it will be less expensive and things will be carried out and projects will be executed in a timely manner.
Yes.
And these are the things that we expect in Benin City. The Agbo Mafia was able to assemble all the heads, every traditional heads, the Republic, down to Volta region, Ghana.
Ivory Coast, some state.
All the ever traditional heads, all the traditional heads of every areas in Benin, Togo, and Ghana, and I think
Ivory Coast was there. Yeah.
The Benin people are waiting for the leadership of the Oba of Benin.
Exactly.
The Benin people in the diaspora are waiting for the leadership of the Oba of Benin. But for the meantime, as our ancestors will have it, the Agbo Mafia has stepped in. Because there cannot be a vacuum.
No.
There cannot be a vacuum. And the reason why the Oba of Benin cannot give us the kind of leadership we expect is because of people like Governor Godwin Obaseki.
Exactly, sir.
Who has always distracted the past. Who choose to be an obstruction, a stumbling block when it comes to the peace and prosperity of the Benin people. That is why the youth today have become land grabbers.
Yes.
Prostitutes, drug addicts, scammers. Because there is no leadership. Because they are disoriented. Because they are disillusioned. because there is a promise of a better future. They see no hope. And that gives a lot of us in the diaspora a problem. We can't even help them.
Yes.
We can't even help by coming to build factories. Because when we are, the land probably has been sold to 5 people.
Yes.
Now, if we are even lucky, the land will be levied left, right, center, except. Now, even if we pay the fees and we decide to, the youth are not even ready to work.
No.
We are in a very serious situation, Mr. President.
Yeah.
I just want to leave it there because I think I have spoken a lot.
Okay. Thank you very much for your words of wisdom, and I really appreciate that. That we have
Thank
somebody
you, sir.
like you in our organization who stand for the truth, uh, who doesn't stand for one-sided uh, opinion. So let me
Thank you,
add,
Mr. President.
yeah, let me add a little bit to what the Vice President has said. Uh, when the British were really, when they came to Nigeria, what we call Nigeria today, they know the set of people they can be able to manipulate easily.
Yeah,
They came in and manipulated these people easily
yeah,
and used this set of people against the other people.
yes,
These functions years, before they came to the Benin Empire. And we were not ready to be manipulated. That is why we become an enemy of the British. Uh, the British they have gone for more than 60 years now. The problem we are facing is the mentality they left behind for our politicians, those that were chosen by the British to govern Nigeria. We have these leaders that were given positions who were power hungry. They were
yeah,
power hungry that didn't realize they are destroying the nation they formed. For example, it should have been very, very easy for the leaders of those times to relegate the power to our traditional rulers. But they refuse till
yeah,
date because they are power hungry people. I would not like to put the blame alone on the leaders because in most of these European countries you are seeing, there are citizens who have never been part of politics before or in any political parties before, who work tirelessly to make sure laws are being changed, that laws are being amended in favor of the citizens, in favor of the masses. But we are not seeing all this in Nigeria. We are not seeing this in Benin in particular, in the Benin Empire. We have the chance
mhm,
to pull the whole thing back to ourselves, to say, okay, we doesn't need this anymore. We doesn't want to be a part of this any longer. We can start a referendum, not for separation, but for the amendment of the system of governance we want.
exactly, exactly.
But we are not doing this because I have seen, since I've been in this country, and they're also allowed to vote in this country, I have seen a lot of amendments being done to laws. Even some laws are being erased completely due to the power of the people. This is what Nigeria needs. This is what we need in Benin Empire. Uh, the fact is we have people who are highly educated and at the same time ill educated. We have professors, we have everything, but they are not interested in this. They are only interested in their own stomach and how everybody will be saying Oga professor to them, you know, or Oga doctor. Everybody needs respect. You know. That is where we are lacking. We need people who will be at the forefront. Who even doesn't have a school certificate, it doesn't matter, but they can move people and they understand people. That is why I was saying the other day in my last broadcast, I was talking directly to the palace about all these issues because the culture we adopted is not favoring us
at all.
about the land grabbing, about the lances. When I was growing up, I grew up in a community which the houses were less than 30, but we have other big communities surrounding us. And these communities, they always communicate. The first community send this message to the other community, and the other community send the message. There's always people working for the peace of these communities, that there shouldn't be any confusion or something of such. But today we have a community of youth who call themselves youth, where the elderly ones with experience, with knowledge, have nothing to say in the community because we said we are civilized. Through this system, we have experienced a lot of security threats to the Benin Empire. If you look at the issue of the land of the Oba of Benin today, the elderly people who know exactly what is going on, they all kept quiet. All you were seeing the television were all these youth who were narrating how the issue is and who owns land, who doesn't own land. This is not supposed to be happening in our community. I'm still saying this. We need a referendum for so many issues, for the system of governance, for our culture. What do we want as a culture? Do we want a youth system of culture? Because Africa's system is completely built different way. There's nowhere you go in the whole of the continent of Africa. There's one system that is being operated, which is the one of the elderly. The elders, the seniorities always follow. If you go to Egypt, if you go to Tunisia, if you go anywhere in the traditions, go to South Africa, you still have it. But today we are saying we are civilized, we are adopting the system of the British, adopting the system of the Germans, of the Americans, which does not favor us, does not favor our culture, our tradition, nothing. So let me come back to the issue of the British leaving Nigeria, giving certain set of people power. As you said before, they gave the Yorubas power, they gave the Igbos power, they gave the Hausas and the Fulani power. The Benis were left behind. But the people who fought for the independence of Nigeria, they were Benis.
Exactly.
They were Benis. Because the Benin fought for the independence of Nigeria, they have to punish the Benis.
Yes, exactly.
So they have to punish the Benis, and that is why we were degraded, we were reduced to nothing. That we don't even have any part in the affairs of Nigeria. Because the British, they know once the Benin has the affairs of Nigeria, it's going to be more than independence. Nigeria would have been divided again. Everybody will be the husband of his house. But the people that was being put in that power, like the Igbos, the Hausas, and the Yorubas, They were working for the British. They are still working for the British as we are talking today.
Exactly.
You know,
That is why you
anything that's
see them, excuse me, Mr. President, that is why you
thank you.
see them always running to Chatham House in London.
Yes.
Atiku is in Chatham House, Tinubu is in Chatham House. Even the Obi that the Benis are foolishly following, claiming that he's better than them, is running to Chatham House. They are running to the corridors of power of the people who enslaved your ancestors, who degraded your culture, who demeaned you, who destroyed everything that has to do with your history.
Yes. So it's a pity that our people will be shouting Obi. Somebody who has not even, there's what we call a sikbowo in Benin. It's a bird, you know. He was being promised to be given a king, to be nominated as a king and to be a king. You know, before he even started to be a king, he have started saying so many things like, "I will kill this, I will destroy this, I will do this, I will do that." You know, so people, other birds were now think, "Oh, we all of us are in danger if we give the kingship to this very person." So they have to retreat from that system. These birds couldn't be king because of what he was doing. I think our people, they have to learn now. Power hasn't even been given to Obi. He's telling you that he owns 40% of you. Let me put it out of you. You know.
Exactly, because that's what he's doing. If he says that, if what is attributed to him is correct, that the
Yes.
Igbos have owned 40% of the of southern Nigeria, how
Southern
many
Nigeria.
percent does how many percent does Yoruba own? And
Yes.
first of all, we must always understand something. None of these ethnic groups is homogeneous.
No.
None of them, not the Yorubas. In short, the word Yoruba is used of recent. It's less than 70 years old.
Yes, it's I think it's about
It's less
if
than
I'm not
70 years
mistaken,
old.
it's
It's just
less
about
than 70 years.
in 1950s,
Yes, because the word
before they started using this word Yoruba to
yes,
to to um, to identify a certain
instead
group of people. They just come together and use the word. There's no such thing as any ethnic group called Yoruba
no,
before 1900s. None.
you know,
But there was a
even
group called Benin
yes,
before 1900. It's been there for so long. And they
yes,
spread to where we have present day Imo State, present day Delta, present day Port Harcourt, present day Ondo, present day Ekiti. It's been like that. So if we are even going to talk about an ethnic group
you
that
know,
has the population, it is the Benins.
exactly, sir. You know, even in Anambra State, where Obi
Exactly.
is, the Eze,
Yes.
the Eze of
Yes.
Anambra State, is using the Benin royal sword, the Ada and
Yes.
Ebe. You know?
Yes. All of them, if you go down to all part of the South, what we call the Niger Delta today, most of the
Yes,
traditional rulers uses the insignia of the
yes,
Benin Kingdom. That clearly shows that they identify with their ancestry. But guess
exactly.
what? Those who control the affairs of Nigeria are rewriting history.
History, yes,
They are demarcating borders. They are appropriating to themselves or to their allies things that belongs to the Benin. So today they
yes,
tell you the Benis are a minority. They are less than 2 million. Then they tell you an Ikwere man. But nobody is going to tell you that an Ijebu man is 50,000 or 500,000,
no,
or that an Egba man is 200,000. They will tell you that Yoruba, they will bring themselves together and say we are
yes,
20 million or we are 30 million. But when it comes to down south, they will tell you no, the Bini is 2 million.
yes. You know,
Now, when they want to be mischievous, they put Essence, the Esakos, and some of the Galas who are with
yes,
us. put them with the Benin as a tribe, not Benin. Put them together and say all these people are 20 million. Now, these people that put these people together, you now ask them, why are you not putting the IKPEREs? Why are you not putting the Ndonis, the Aniomas? Why are you not putting all these people together? Why are you putting Essence and Benin together? It clearly shows you that the same divide and rule system that the British perpetuated is the same system they are using. All of them school, majority of those people you see today, schooled abroad, they schooled in London, they schooled in America. The only thing in their head is the American and British system.
Yes.
And that is why when they come, they tell you that they are servant leaders. But the servant leader is collecting your resources. He's living on your well-being.
Yes.
He's looting your commonwealth. And guess where he has stored your commonwealth? In Europe.
Yes.
You know why they store the commonwealth in Europe? Because they owe their allegiance, they owe their everything, they owe their identity, they owe their political career to the Europeans, to Britain and United States and France. Because it is those people who make them. And that is why you see anywhere in Africa today, when you have an African leader that is pro-people, the French, the British, the CIA, all of them will come and kill that person.
Immediately, sir.
And this is the reason why the Beninese, must begin to understand the issues that are befalling them are not just ordinary. To come back, we need to retrace things. We need to sit down and begin to look at things.
Exactly.
Because we are not ordinary people. You want to identify yourself as an Esa, you want to identify yourself as a Benin man, you want to identify yourself as an El, to identify yourself as a Gadangbe, you want to identify yourself as an Ndoni or an Ika or an Anioma, you are all Benin.
Exactly, sir.
Because you all came from the ancient Benin kingdom.
No.
And when we begin to tell our people these things, today, for instance, in Ghana, it is going to be difficult for an Ewe to be president. It's going to be difficult for a Gadangbe to be president.
Exactly.
It is going to be difficult. It is the way it has been programmed by the British.
Yes.
The same way you go to Togo, it is going to be difficult for an Ewe to be president in Togo. The same thing when you go to Benin Republic.
Yes.
It is going to be difficult for descendants of the Benin Empire in all this country, irrespective of your tribe. It is difficult for you to aspire to be president. Reason being that your fathers, your ancestors, opposed the British, opposed the French, last drop of their, and they know that whether you are a Bini, whether Isa, whether you are an Anioma, an Ewe, a Gadangbe, they know that the blood of your ancestor runs through your vein.
Exactly.
And they will never allow you get power. And these are the things we keep telling the people. The Benin man must begin to identify himself as a Benin man first. Before I identify himself as a Nigerian, or before identifying himself as a Beninoan, or as a Ghanaian.
Yes.
Because from Nigeria, Togo, Ghana, you are seen as a Benin man. If you come to Ghana today, we are addressed as Ayigbes. We are being talked down upon by several people.
Yes.
If you go to Togo today, it is the same thing. You are classified as Ayigbes, as Eves. Same thing in Benin Republic. Same thing in Nigeria. If you are not part of the artificial Zambia that was created. In fact, For them to subjugate the Hausas, they had to create another kind of tribe called the Hausa Fulani.
Yes.
And an average educated Nigerian thinks that Hausa Fulani is a tribe. It is not a tribe.
It's not a tribe. They are not of the same.
It's a political coloration created by some certain people. And they say, you are an Ikama, you are an Ikwere. You are not an Ikama, you are not an Ikwere.
No, you are a Benin.
You are a Benin man of Ika extraction.
Yes.
You are a Benin man of Esa extraction.
Exactly.
Just as you are a Benin man of Ever extraction. Or you are a Benin man of a Gadangbe extraction. Our identity, and you see, I thank God for the silent revolution that is going on. Now we have our Gadangbe brothers have woken up. Now we are beginning to see the revolution going on in the Volta region,
Yes.
spearheaded by the Agbobo Mafia. Before we know it, there is going to be what I call an alliance.
Yes.
A re-engineering, social, political, economical, cultural, spiritual re-engineering of the Benin people from Nigeria to Sierra Leone. It's going to happen.
Yes.
It's going to happen. Because today we are seeing the Gbobu Ulomo giving leadership to the Gadangbe people. We are seeing the Agbobo Mafia giving leadership to the Ever people. We will begin to see it trickle down. And we also know of the silent movement that the Oba of Benin himself is doing.
Yes.
And we hope by the power of God and the power of our ancestors that there's going to be this re-engineering in our time to experience it. Because we ought to live to experience it. And it is a wake-up call for us as a people.
Exactly so.
To begin to line up behind our own. You see, when I look at the political scene, I do not really like what Wike is doing. Because he is carrying the South on his back for the wrong reasons. For the wrong reasons. I would have expected him to channel that energy, those resources, in elevating his own brothers. And let those people deal with their own issues. Because at the end of the day, whether he chooses to back Peter Obi, or he chooses to back APC, Tinubu, or he chooses tomorrow to back the Fulani man, Atiku, none of them will do anything beneficial. None of them. Because if you look at the NNPC today, it has been privatized.
Yes.
Till today, we do not know the board of directors of the NNPC as a private entity. It's shrouded in secrecy. Those who are sitting at the top of affairs, decision makers in the NNPC today, are from the north.
Yes, none of them is a
Several key other people are from the southwest. NNPC, a company that has to do with the affairs of oil on our land, are dominated by people. You will not see an Hausa man allow a Benin man take over his gold, or his uranium, or his tin, or his columbite.
Never.
Now they bring in their heads of cow into our territory and still tell us that all lands belong. You see, the president is playing a very smart game with the introduction of the waterway bill. That waterway bill, when you study it, you could see that it is clearly a plan by the northern oligarchy and its southern and southeastern allies to our properties, to them.
Exactly.
And we have senators of Benin in the Federal House of Representatives, in the Senate. We have lawmakers in the Federal House of Representatives. We have ministers who are still in the Federal Executive Council. We have state governors. And all these people are watching.
Yeah,
White people create laws to take over our destiny, to create laws to take over our God-given wealth. And all the thing that is due to us is giving contracts to Tompolo.
Yes.
It's an insult.
It's an insult on us.
It's an insult to Tompolo himself. But this is what it is. The North and the South and the Southeast will always look for a willing tool in Benin to be used, just like they used Adam Soshomole against his own brother Oyegu. And they wanted to use him against his brother Obaseki. And everything Adam Soshomole has built politically for the years, we're all up in ruins.
Yes.
Because he was a willing tool in the hands of these people. Where is Rotimi Amechi today? He's a descendant of the Benin Empire. By virtue of the fact that he's an Ikwere man. Where is he today? Where is Goodluck Jonathan today? Who could not even build bridges, could not even build social infrastructure in the Niger Delta, and spent so much of his resources and time and energy trying to please the North.
Yes.
Did the North not kick him out? See, we are not trying to be tribalistic. It's just that this is a practical reality. The practical reality of that country called Nigeria, the practical reality of the country called Ghana, the practical reality of the country called Togo and Benin Republic is such that a descendant of the Benin Empire must be disadvantaged. It is what the system was created to do. You must be disadvantaged politically, socioculturally, you must be disadvantaged, spiritually, you must be disadvantaged. And one of the things that the white man did successfully was to bring religion into our land. Now, Mr. President, it might interest you to know that the only book that was translated to our indigenous languages in Africa is the Holy Bible.
Exactly, sir.
No physics textbook, no chemistry textbook, no accounting textbook, no geographic textbook, no mathematics textbook was translated to our indigenous language. The only book they gave to us in our language was the Holy Bible.
Yeah.
If the white man so loves the black man so much, how come he didn't translate science and technology to our indigenous languages?
Exactly. People should be asking themselves these questions.
We do not ask the right questions because we have been degraded to the point where the only thing we think about is bread and butter, survival.
Yes.
The Benin man is not thinking about success. The Benin man is thinking about survival.
Surviving, yeah.
I want build house. I want chop. I want wear clothes. That is not what our forefathers thought about. Our forefathers were forward thinkers. They thought about legacy.
Yeah.
They knew that they could be successful and not fulfilled, and they pursued fulfillment in life. And that is why today we have over 70,000 artifacts, Benin artifacts, spread across private and national museums in the whole of Europe and America. So if they say that our parents, our forefathers were useless, were uneducated, how come you had 3D bronze casting, 3D artifacts on ivories and on bronze, littered in your own? You know the funniest thing? If they will carry the pyramid in Egypt, the Europeans would have carried it.
They would have carried it, sir. And they still have a part of it. They are still having a part of it.
Of course. We know the obelisk is in France, in some part of Europe, and in America.
Yeah.
So if they could those gargantuan, gigantic objects, I am telling you that if the Europeans had the opportunity to remove the pyramids, they would have removed it. Now, because they can't remove it, what they are trying to do is to wash it.
Yes.
And they do it through the Hollywood movies.
Exactly.
They did it through the book of Bible story that they gave us when we were kids. You see, white Egyptians, the Pharaoh was white.
Yeah, everything was white, sir.
Meanwhile, we know that your Holy Bible was stolen from the Egyptian book of life.
Yes.
That is why today, find a mummy, a Pharaoh mummy of over 10,000 years old. But you cannot find a Bible character, the dead body of a Bible character, not even their grave. You cannot find the grave of King Solomon. You cannot find the grave of Moses. You cannot find the grave of David. You cannot find the grave of Aaron. You cannot find the grave of Paul the Apostle, Peter, Mark, Luke. You can't find it.
Actually, in the case of Solomon, they made a very bloody mistakes, because actually Solomon originated from Ethiopia, you know, and they made a bloody mistake that they refused to notice that the people who will be coming, the new generation, will be finding things out about the Bibles. Everything that is being, I don't want to talk much about the Bible because people always query us. We are anti-Christ and all that.
No,
We are not
no.
anti-Christ.
You see, the thing is, Mr. President, Christians must understand that Christianity was before the Bible.
Yes.
That is what I want my Christian brothers and sisters to understand. Paul didn't have a Bible, he was called a Christian. Peter didn't have a Bible, he was called a Christian. Have a Bible, they were called Christians.
Yes.
So when we talk about the issues of the Bible, we are not talking about the identity of the people who are followers of Christ. We are talking about the book that was given to you by the Roman Empire, the book that was given to you to enslave you.
Yes.
The reason why the apostles of Christ were able to do a lot of things they did, supernatural things they did, but was because they depended solely on the power of God.
Yes.
They didn't depend on the Bible because it didn't exist.
No.
So when we talk about the Bible, Christians must understand that there's a difference between the Bible and being a follower of the teachings of Christ.
Yeah.
Because I am also a follower of the teachings of Christ. But I am not a follower of the teachings of the Bible.
No.
Two different things.
Exactly.
I will not follow the things that were written by a man and were attributed to God, because I'm not dumb. When that Moses can part the Red Sea, how come we do not want to believe that Togbe Charlie can ride on the back of a crocodile?
Yeah.
These are questions that we need to ask. When Moses could raise his hand and the sun could stand still, how come we could not believe in the stories of Arogwande? How come we could exploit of Oba Esige?
Yes. No.
And there are so many things that you see, keep telling our people we are disconnected because we are the closest to the divine. And our forefathers have been doing exploit that they call witchcraft today, that they call voodoo today, that they call juju today. These are exploits. If a black man parts the Atlantic Ocean today, every black man will say it's juju.
Yes.
But if a white man parts the Atlantic Ocean today, every black man is going to say it's a miracle.
Yeah.
Because we have been conditioned. And that is why I say, my Benin people, whether you are Ewe, whether you are a Gadangbe, you are a Bini, whether you are Esa, whether you are Indoni, Ikwere, Ika, whatever you want to identify yourself as, we must begin to look at our identity and begin to carry ourselves as children of the light.
Yes.
Because that is what we are. We are children of the light. We won't be waiting for one of our brother or sister who has worked hard in Europe We will come and buy land in Benin. We won't be waiting to steal from the person, to extort the person, to exploit the person, to cause misery and pain to the person. Because that is the attributes of children of darkness.
Yes.
Children of darkness. We are children of light. And everywhere we go, we tend to shine the light in every darkness, and every dark situation. We give hope. We give peace. We give joy. Mr. President,
Okay, thank you very much. And I just want to add a little bit to what you said about religion as a whole. Even before the white man came to our this side of Africa where we are today, we know that there was God. We know there's God. There's something bigger. You know, our forefathers, they believe on it. You know, and they also believe on a collective effort. You know, they believe on the collective effort that help them to build all the build, that help them to achieve all they achieve. You know? But today we are so divided. Because when I look at the way people are doing, organizing 2 million march for Peter Obi, somebody who is already pouring insult on you, who is not already in power, or Tinubu, or Atiku, I start questioning myself. Where did we get all this wrong? Is this the system of education we are being given to? But if you look at all this, the whole set of things, most of these things has something to do with the Bible. Have to do with the Bible, because the first thing you see in the Bible is negative about our tradition, about the system of government our tradition was in before they came. Now, a white man, the Bible will tell you the ukhure you are holding on the hand. People doesn't really understand the meaning of ukhure. Ukhure is part of your lineage. You know, the forefather, because every one of them was given names. You know, and that is ukhure. This ukhure has also a little bit to do with your DNA. Because if you go to so many of the head of the family, you see this ukhure. You see them, their names, everything. If we are giving them Thanksgiving, we usually call their name. Osunde, Eki. You know, all those names are being called and given them, thank them for the great job they did. You know, that led us to where we are today. But in the Bible, once they saw this, they will say, oh, that's the work of the devil, you know. But people don't really understand. And
it's
this
the
is why
work of the devil. It's the work of the devil. But when you, as a Benin man, you are praying, you'll be shouting, God of Isaac, Isaac, and Jacob.
Yes, you know. So
but cannot say the God of your own fathers.
No.
But you can, you've been programmed to think that it has to do with your identity, your ancestry, your history is devilish.
You know, people need to start understanding there's nothing devilish about our culture. There's nothing devilish about our kingdom, about our king system. When the British were leaving Nigeria, they removed all the kings from power. All the queens we were having, our traditional rulers were removed from powers. But in Great Britain, they were not removed.
At all. What today is paying condolence to you know, see, black people today are busy shouting peace.
Yes.
To a monarchy that destroyed everything that has to do with your own identity.
Exactly.
To me, it's baffling. You are saying rest in peace to a woman who headed a kingdom that subjugated your people, that enslaved your people, that looted your people. Today, the British has over 36,000 bars of gold.
Yes.
Looted from Africa. Looted from Africa.
Not only the
Today,
British,
Europe
the
and America. Today, Europe and America developed on the backs of ancestors.
Yes.
Your ancestors built those rail tracks. White House was built by black slaves.
Yes.
Including architecture. They don't want you to know that. Many of the technology they have today, the street light, the iron, those bread, a lot of technology today that has made life better for them.
Yes.
They're created by ancestors. They don't want you to know that.
No.
Then you go about, you are shouting, rest in peace. Oh, she was a good woman. She was gracious. Gracious? As the Queen of England, did you know what happened to the Jamaicans, the Haitians,
oh,
the Kenyans,
this is
the
horrible,
Mama massacre?
This so
and you
horrible.
call her gracious?
So horrible.
Clearly shows that black people are not educated.
Not at all, sir. You know,
Because
I believe,
when
sorry,
Malema made the statement he made, it didn't go down well with a lot of black people. And
yeah.
in my head, I'm thinking, is it that there's something wrong with the black man? Because everything Malema said was a statement of facts.
Yes.
Did the Queen go to South Africa? Yes. Did she know the history of apartheid? Yes. Did she do anything
100%.
about it? No. Did the Queen go to Sierra Leone? Yes. Did she stand over at the mining site where
Yes.
they were mining diamonds? Yes. The picture all over the internet. Did she look working condition of the miners? Yes. Did she do anything about it? No. In fact, they created a civil war in Sierra Leone, created a civil war in Liberia, created a civil war. Today, the Congo are still having problems. Yeah. Today, the South Africans are disillusioned.
Yes.
They crippled the economy of Zimbabwe even after they had a Lancaster agreement.
Yes.
And they failed to fulfill the Lancaster agreement. And when our late ancestor, Robert Mugabe, insisted that, hey, we must stick by the agreement, they decided, okay, we are going to make life for you. Meanwhile, Mugabe was once their darling boy.
Yes.
You go to Libya, the same thing. They promised them democracy. Look at Libya today.
They are not having that.
They toppled Kwame Nkrumah, and Ghana has never recovered from it. You see, we can go on and on. Look at Burkina Faso. Assassinated Thomas Sankara. Look at the Burkina babes today. Totally retrogressive.
Yes. And
same thing they did in Togo with Olympio. You see, we can go on and mention these names. And it so baffles me that the African man thinks that these people love them. They don't love you. The fact that they give you visa, it doesn't mean they love you. They give you visa to come and do the work they know their children cannot do because their kids are lazy.
Exactly. I was asked 2 days ago, and I was asked to say something about the Queen of England. I told these people, if I should say anything, you people will tell me I'm the devil. Because I cannot lose any good word about this woman. And I said something. All of them were looking at me. And they said, why? I told them, look at the situation. She's not just a leader, but a mass murderer. Yeah. We have to say the truth.
Yes.
Somebody who closed her eyes when our children were being thrown into the Atlantic Ocean.
Yes.
Where the breasts of Jamaicans were being cut
Yes.
because they escaped slavery.
Yes.
That was yesterday. That was yesterday. Somebody
I
who
think
could
we
have
should. I
signed.
think we should do a special broadcast
Yeah.
on the British monarchy,
Yes.
at least British monarchy in the last 60 years, so that our people
Yes.
will not think that we are being mischievous. We are not saying the British monarchy in 2 centuries away. We are saying the British monarchy in the last 60 years, just recent.
60 years.
60 years, because now Prince King Charles, King
Yes.
Charles III has been installed as king, and guess what? He's said to be the defender of the Christian church and the faith.
Yes, that is what it is, sir.
Title: defender of the Christian church and his faith,
Yes.
the Christian faith. And you begin to ask yourself, are we okay as a people?
No, not really, sir. Not really. If
Because
I have to.
this man is a you in the Christian faith. What is it about that you can ever find in the monarchy, in the British monarchy? But guess what, Mr. President? They are not totally wrong,
Yeah.
because this is the same religion that killed over 50,000 people just because they were introducing a holy book called the Bible. And
Yes.
because people who were trained by the apostles had actually said that no, some of these things in this book is doctored and
Yes.
cannot be said to be of God. They came to these people. They made a decree that anybody who had any manuscripts or anything that points to the old should be killed.
Yes.
Went into homes, ransacked, took people's manuscripts, burnt them, burnt people alive. That is the
Yes.
Christian faith that they are talking about. Not the one, not the story or the preachings of the historical Jesus. They are two different things, and I think people should understand that they are two different things.
Yeah, and
There
people
is
should.
there is the there is a Christianity that operates state terrorism.
Yes.
Then there is another one who follows the ethics and the teachings of the historical Jesus. They are two different things. So you yourself who say you are a follower of Christ, you must now begin to ask yourself, do you identify with those who are mass murderers, who are thieves? Because even the Bible you hold says that Christ once said that the thief cometh, but to do what? To kill, to steal, and to destroy.
Yes. Huh?
Now let us equate it today. Who are those who have come to steal our properties, to kill our people, and destroy our culture? It is the defender of the Christian faith, the man that
Yes.
was just installed. His mother did it, his grandparents did it,
Yeah,
and
he
he's
was
going to
also
continue.
he's a part of it, sir, because he's also
Yes, he is a
has
part of
a
it.
representative
He's going to
role when
continue.
the mother died.
Yes, he's going to
No,
continue.
something
And I want us to understand that it's going to continue.
yes, and there's something happened few months ago when Prince William, with his wife, went to Jamaica. You know, they told him publicly, "We are leaving the United Kingdom. We want to be on our own because of one reason. Because these people didn't find a word of apology to apologize to the Jamaican people of the evils, atrocities they committed against these people."
No, in fact,
You know?
because of the outcry that greeted the death and the jubilation that greeted the death of the Queen, a lot of Europeans began to attack Africans. You are
Yes,
attacking people for telling you that they are happy that one of their oppressors is dead and the earth is now left with one less evil.
yes,
I am not happy
no,
that I am not happy at the death of earth, but it will be
no,
hypocrisy. It
yes,
will be hypocrisy for you to beat a child and tell it cannot cry.
Don't cry. So I can tell you, these people since 3 days, they have not been talking to me normally as they used to talk before, because they understand. I understand something, and I told them what they didn't know before: that the Germans, the French, all these who call themselves the Westerners, is responsible for the misery of Africa, of the Haitians today. You see the
Exactly.
Haitians, you know, the Jamaicans, the
Exactly.
Barbados, you know, because especially the Jamaica people, you know, because when the Benin Empire was captured, or when Benin was preserved, those of our brothers and sisters that was arrested and be taken away was not brought back. They were brought to Jamaica, to all these different countries,
Exactly.
and they went through hell. They went through hell. When we say they went through hell, they went through hell in the hands of these people.
Exactly.
And people doesn't understand that. When a Jamaican man will rise up today and tell the queen to shut up, you know, people won't understand that. The African people, we have this the Stockholm syndrome. You know,
Yeah.
you always identify with your oppressor. This is what we are doing.
Yeah.
There's no other way I can really explain what is happening, because if only just what they did to Oba Ovurami, you know, and the Benin people is enough. But when you see today people are going around and informing other people not to return the Benin artifacts because Benin was involved in slave trade and all that, you don't ask to question yourself, how come these people are coming this period saying this against the Benins? Because some of our people who are working tirelessly with these people, they should understand they have nothing to gain from this. Because immediately the British has what they want, they are going to push you aside. If care is not taken, they will eliminate you
Exactly.
so that you won't say a word later. If you went to borrow money in Britain because of the museum or all these sort of things, they are not going to keep quiet. They will want their money back very soon.
Mm-hmm.
And they are going to use every means to collect their money, and they have been doing that. And they are going to take you out of the light. They are going to take the light out of you before you know it. So, and things that is happening in our communities today, it's not just happening because things want to happen. There are powers behind it. When our Oba is quiet, there's a reason for him to be quiet. When the Oba said the protest shouldn't go on, there's a reason for that. Because people are walking underground, just to do something that will cause chaos in our state, in our empire, that the blame will not be put on the Oba of Benin to say, oh, he organized this. These are his people. This is the way they behave. Then we find one way or the other than to say, okay, we are going to retaliate. We have to punish. So this is what is going on. People should understand. And all these socio-cultural organizations, as I said before, most of them are being used knowingly and unknowingly. And we have to be very, very careful in anything we are doing, because every step that is being taken is being watched. If you said you are organizing meeting through Zoom, Zoom is an instrument from all this country. If you
Yeah.
say it's no system you are using, it's their own system. It's just a seconds. They know all what you are discussing or what you are saying. Since last month, since all this issue started, I know what has been going on in most of my page that I control. You know, I know a huge restriction in my own personal, but not of the organization.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on. People should understand. But we are not going to be quiet. We are going to be outside, saying the truth, no matter who that person is. You cannot silence us. The
Not at all.
unity of the Benin, the United Nations of the Benin, the Commonwealth of the Benin is going to happen. It's going to happen, and it's coming. And all these mad people who call themselves majority, they should wait. They will see the majority they have when the time comes. I'm pleading with the Benin youth, please use your brain, because this brain is being
Exactly.
given to you to be used. Killing your brother because of 100 by 100 is useless. Killing your
Exactly.
sisters because of 100 by 100, betraying your sister because of 100 by 100 is useless. Our forefathers were able to achieve so many things they achieved without even selling a piece of land. You know?
Exactly.
But today we have sold thousands of plots of land. We have not been able to achieve anything. So we should be looking forward to educate our children's children, to allow them to know whom they are. Because most of the Edo people, they don't even know that they are not Yorubas. They are not Igbo, they are not Hausas. They are one of the greatest tribes that ever existed in Nigeria.
Exactly.
And they never knew that. And they need to know this. This is what this organization stands for.
Yes.
We will stand for the truth, and we will remain in the truth finding. But we love our tradition, we love our culture, and we will stand for our tradition, we will stand for our culture, come what may. There's no amount of threat that people can threaten us to do this, to do that. Okay, do whatever you like. If you take me out of the way, the next person is coming who is going to do the same I'm doing today.
And even more.
Maybe even do more. So we shouldn't just be afraid to say something or be scratching our head to say something because I'm having a political, what do they call it? A political ambition.
Mm-hmm.
We should stand with the truth because the truth remains the truth, because the truth is the only thing that can push you forward. Because once you started lying and lying, people are going to use this against you in the future. Because we can see some videos that is circulating on the social media today where some of our elite who call themselves elite were lying, and they are circulating today, but they can't deny it. This is what they said. But if they stand in the truth, and today they still stand with the truth, nobody will use all those things against them. So this is what people should be understanding. If you lie because of one political ambition or the other, people are going to use it against you. And we should know how to stand for our people, because not only in Nigeria that our people are not standing for our people, even in Europe, it's happening here. We don't stand for our people. We doesn't help our people. We only take them out. We only take the little they are still having. So Is there anything to contribute again, sir? Because we'd like
Ah,
to end
nothing,
because
nothing. Sir, it was a
we
beautiful.
are having almost 2 hours now. We
Yeah.
haven't had such a uh, long time
I want to
before.
apologize. I want to apologize to everybody. I mean, for this long broadcast. You know, it's due to the sensitivity of the subject matter we had at hand
Yeah,
today, and we want to say we thank you for giving us so much energy and your data and all whatnot broadcast. Hopefully, we'll get to sometimes try to make our broadcast shorter, so that you could
yeah,
also have more time for yourself to do other things. We want to thank you all from wherever you're watching us from, whether in Ghana, all across Africa, Europe. I want to say thank you very much. God bless you and have a fruitful week ahead. Mr. President, is there anything you want to say?
yeah. I just want to thank all the Benis who stand for the truth, and I want to let them know there's nothing they should be afraid of defending the truth. People who died for the truth, when they are gone, the truth still remain. But those
Yeah.
people who stand for the lies, they will be ashamed in their entire life. So stand for the truth, do the good, do good to your neighbors, and be a part of this organization so that we can stand for our people. So
Amen.
thank you very much, and we appreciate that you people were with us today. As I said, be a part of this organization and let's fight for our people. So thank you, and have a blessed weekend. Have a blessed Sunday. So bye bye.
Bye bye.
Yeah. So.